Good morning and welcome to Digging the Coast 365 on a special day, and I'll tell you why it's a special day, because the weather's alright. It's nice weather. We've got good weather, the tide is on our side. All we need now is for there to be metal in the sand. So fingers crossed, today is the day. We're at White Sands Bay, which is near St David's. It's very popular with surfers. It's quite a nice beach, I'll give it that, and a very popular one. So come on, let's do this. Signal number 1. I'm using the dais today because I've hurt my arm, and it's the lightest machine to use. I slept on my arm. Do you know when you get a dead arm? I think I've slept on my earphone, because I always have my earphones in when I'm going to go to bed. So I watch things on my phone and fall asleep. What have we got? First signal. Come on, be something exciting. Oh, it's in here. It's in here. It's there. Oh, we're off. It's money. It's £1. £1. What a start. What a start. I'm telling you, today is the day. £1. £1 coin. That's a pound. That's more than a penny by 100. Or is it 99? It's more by 99. It's 100 pennies. It's £1 coin. This beach has also got a blue flag, which means it's one of the cleanest in the world. Evidence of that is there. Washing powder all over the beach. It's clean. It's very clean. The way the sea has eroded this slate is amazing. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's like being on a different planet. Amazing. Right, I've got a signal. I've gone right to the very end of the beach, and I thought, right, in here there's got to be some kind of signal. People always hang around in these spots. So we've got a signal here. It's a bit... it doesn't know what to do with itself. It's not sure if it's going to be a good one or a bad one, but there's only one way to find out. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. It's definitely a bad one. It's a ring pull. Never mind. Just a quick message for Bjorn, who said he cooked my mince casserole dish and he became pregnant. I'm sorry to hear that, Bjorn, but you know, it's really up to you to take your own precautions. You can't slap that on somebody else. So I'm sorry that you're pregnant. Can men get pregnant anyway? It must have been the vegetables inside it anyway, because I've never heard of anyone get pregnant from it before, but I've never made it with vegetables before. So I am sorry. See a doctor, take a morning after pill. That's my advice. Unless you want a baby. I got very excited then. I thought I'd found a chain. I just saw this bit sticking out, you see. It's a fishing weight. It's not a bad beach to do, really. I wish I'd have put the smaller coil on my machine, but yeah, not doing too bad. Enjoying myself, that's the main thing. A few people have said I should try some Welsh food, so I'm going to try these Welsh cakes. Very expensive, to be honest, so they should be good. They look like little flat, what I would call a scone, curranty tea cakey thingy. Yeah, there's nothing Welsh about that at all, apart from it's flat. We have them in where I come from, and they're big and fat, and they're just called scones. Very nice, though. I just found this stone. Now, if it wasn't made out of slate, I would be saying that is an arrowhead, an axe head, prehistoric type thing. It's just the perfect shape for it. But it can't be. Not made out of slate, because it would break. I'm going to move on to another beach because I've been up and down here for an hour and had 2 signals, a pound coin and a pull tab. It's a beautiful beach, I do like it here. But there's another beach which hasn't got any sand on, or very little sand, and it's a tiny little beach, a little cove, and I think I'll have more luck there. It's quite pebbly, gravelly, stroke, grey, sandy. It looks promising. Let's go there. Now somewhere up there is one of these ancient burial sites, you know, like 3 stones with a top on it, a big stone on the top, which has collapsed. Now I'm not going to take you there because I've seen pictures and it's collapsed, and I've shown you much better examples. It's somewhere up there, and I've been told it's quite hard to find because there's rocks everywhere. But if you look at the shape of the top of it, it's the same shape as that island. So whether that's just by coincidence, I don't know. Oh, there's a man walking on water there. Look at that! Can you see that? He's gone. There's a man just walking on water just there. He's there, look. Oh, he's sunk now, but he was definitely walking on water. Even the toilets have my name on it. So here I am back at Aberreedy. Now, somebody pointed out yesterday that I said it wrong, and thank you for that. It's spelt at the end DDI, and apparently double D in Welsh is TH. So Aberreedy is the name of the place. Blue Lagoon just over there, took you to yesterday, and this is the beach I saw yesterday. So I want to give this a good going over. Let's see if there's any gold. Something else I'm having to eat, a Reese's bar. We're talking American food now. I found a shop in Tenby, a sweet shop which did all American foods and old English, not food, sweets, and old English sweets. So I got this Reese's bar, and I got a 1950s English selection pack of sweets, and they were rubbish. It were all boiled sweets and licorice, not very nice, and then coconut mushrooms. That were it. Anyway, a Reese's bar. I don't know if I tried one of these in America, but I'll try one now. Possibly the most sickly thing I've ever eaten in my life. To English people, it tastes a bit like a Boost. I don't know if they do Boosts anymore, but it tastes like a Boost. Part of the cliff's been eroding away here, and there's a bit of junk coming down with it, so they must have been dumping things over here in years gone by. Now, I just saw something and I pulled it down with my detector from up here. Well, it was part of a bottle. But look at this, I thought it was a pipe at first, but it's the spout off a teapot. I wonder how old that is. It's been stuck in this earth. And there's another little bottle thing there. Can I get that? Hang on. If that's complete, it looks like it could be nice. I think it is, you know. No writing on it, but it's a nice little bottle. I wonder if there's a message inside it. Could have swept in from the sea. It might have come from Australia or something. And there's a bit of pottery with the tail and wing of a bird on it. And a little bit on the other side. But I did just find a screw top part of a bottle, so it can't be that old, but this all looks like rubble, slate rubble, which has been tipped here. Now whether the miners tipped it here, although the mine closed in 1910, I don't know how long there's been screw thread bottles for, but yeah, interesting spot. A big lump of iron, could be off a shipwreck, you never know. I do always like to examine them, like that's got a hole in it there. I like to examine them because you never know with these big lumps of iron, there might be just some marking on it which gives it away. as to what it is or where it comes from. I've done these a few times in the past, these polls at the top where you can vote, and I want to start incorporating these every day because I really like them, I find them very interesting. So today we're going to have a vote. A, B, C or D. Which is your favourite rock? So this is rock A, which is very grey with some white lines going through it. Quite interesting. Rock B, a very plain grey stone rock, should I say. Number 3, this quartzy looking thing with a few veiny things running through it, quite yellow in colour. Or rock 4, which is like a grey one with some white lines. So you choose. Get your votes in now by clicking on the poll in the top corner. A, B, C or D. Let's see which is his favourite. Well, what can I say? A very enjoyable day. A very enjoyable day indeed. I just hope weather's going to improve now and it's going to be like this every day because it's just fantastic. I can do this every day, all day. It's brilliant. So I've done 2 beaches today. Not found anything, but enjoyed myself. That's the main thing. I'm now going to take you into St David and bore you stupid with some Bishop's Palace and St David's Cathedral, maybe. Check them out. See what you think. Here we are inside St David's Bishop's Palace. Yep, I got that right. It's still very much intact. There's some really good architecture in here which is still there. There's some audio things you can listen to as well, so I'll tell you a bit about it as we're going around. You've got 3 or 4 of these rooms, they're like big garages. But I never expected to see this. What do you call these things? Hanging off the ceiling. They take thousands of years to grow, I'm sure they do. It's all very poorly lit. There's a sign saying make sure you don't have an accident, but you don't have an accident on purpose, do you? So there's about 4 of these rooms, and each one has some steps leading up. Very, very narrow. And I don't know where they're leading. But let's do this. So this part is the Bishop's Solar, it's called. This is where the Bishop would hang around with his guests. But the Bishop wouldn't be here very often, here at St David's. He was a traveller. He spent time in London and in his palace at Llanelli. And he probably only came back for Christmas and Easter, so he wasn't around too much. A bit like me, I should have been a bishop, although I don't go home at Christmas and Easter, do I? I'm more like a pope. One thing you might have never thought about with bishops is they never retire. Never. They just keep being bishops until they die, and because they're travelling all the time, or they were back then, they'd often just drop dead whilst they were travelling, because they got old and they just couldn't take the travel anymore. Fact. Now this is what puts me off bishops. I've talked about this before, they've got too much power in them days. This is the Chancellor. Was in charge of doing all his documents and records. It was his responsibility. He had the Black Book of St David's, which he holds, listed the rents and the duties owed to the bishop from his lands. It's all about collecting rent and money for his lands. Money, money, money. So you can see these human head figures throughout the palace. Now there's about 150 of them inside the palace, but most of them are pretty eroded now. But what they did is, on the outside of the palace, they'd have like wild animals like dogs and baboons and lions, heads, grotesque things to ward people away, pretty much. And on the inside you had faces showing that they'd brought order inside and serenity, something like that, I don't know. So this is the bishop's bedroom. He'd get some rest in here, but he'd only be here. As I say, he's hardly ever here. But this is the only room where no one would disturb him. Big, fireplace there, and at the back, he's got his own little toilet here, look. That's his toilet. Now I'm wondering, because you've got this wall here, and they didn't, I don't think they had like proper bed sheets and stuff, did they, back in 1100? I don't know. Maybe it was just like a wooden bed, wooden frame, and he just peed through the frame, and it just trickled into there, so that he wouldn't even have to get out of bed to go to the toilet. I might be wrong, but that's what I'd do. Now we're in the Bishop's Hall. This is where he'd deal with all his business. Because he wasn't just a bishop as I thought. He used to like be the law to a lot of people. They'd be responsible for sorting out local disputes and things like that. People would get summoned. He had like bailiffs going round collecting money. And sometimes he'd get the bailiffs to get them to come to this hall so that I could have a word with them. And if ever there was a war, they were expected to follow him to war with all his tenants. If you had a headache, this is where they'd send you, down here, away from the sunlight to help you feel a bit better. Might even bring you a glass of water and a tablet, I don't know. So this is the kitchen, which would have been pretty busy. But I don't like this. Down here, look, you've got a little hatch, a little hole. That's where they'd put all the scraps and all the leftovers. They'd throw them down that hole and distribute it out, and it was seen as the bishop doing something for charity, giving his leftovers to the poor. How sad, how really sad. This is the great hall where all the big feasts would happen. And on this wall, you see there's no windows behind me. There'd be a huge tapestry on there. You'd have tapestries between the windows here. And I've just been reading that in, 1200s, they didn't use forks. They just had a knife and used the fingers. I wonder when forks were invented. I'd have thought they'd have forks by then. And whenever they were having these feasts, there'd be musicians around, and these musicians would travel all around the country, all around Britain, and they'd say ballads and stories in the songs they were playing, in the words they were singing, which were telling the story of what was going on around the world. So that's how they got the news, through music, not through a newspaper. I didn't know that. Right, now we're into the bedroom. This is like the great bedroom, where your special guests get to sleep. This is where I sleep on this trip when I stay with friends. This would be where they'd put me. Now, in here you've got a toilet. You'd have an indoor toilet in the corner here, and they'd do the business straight down there, and straight down there leads to the cesspit. We always like to see before and afters, so this is what it looks like now. Notice the steps there. This is what it would have looked like. Something like this, and this was in what, 1340, I think it says. 1340 is when it was finished. So a lot of people would come here, a lot of pilgrims, mainly to go to the cathedral just across the road, which is there. They'd come to go to the cathedral, but they'd stay here. And something I've just found out. Now, I would love to have seen one of these. I've never seen one. But pilgrims were often given little, like, pin badges. Look at that. Can you imagine finding one of them while you're metal detecting? So I had no idea what these little underground tunnels were. I thought there were some kind of garages for the cars. It turns out they were all for storage, and servants would live down here as well. To give you an idea of where we are, I think this is a map of the whole of Wales. I'm not sure because it's all in old-fashioned writing. But we've come along the south coast of Wales. I'm staying here, and we're here at the moment. So each day I'm going back there and going to a different beach. I'll be doing that for about another week or so, and then I need to find another hostel somewhere up here. So we're right at the very western tip now of Wales. So the bishop owned all this land and he let people, tenants, stay on the land, yeah, like farmers for example. But to do this they had to pay like a tax, duty tax, and they had to provide him with free labour. Now I'm just reading off here some of the things they had to do. It says they must plough twice a year, harrow twice, they ought to gather all the bishop's hay in the meadow, carry it, reap the corn for 3 days and carry the bishop's corn for 1 day, keep the mill pond in repair, carry millstones and thatch the mill, and they must carry prisoners to the castle at their own cost and risk. So, come on, they were like prisoners themselves in a way, but, you know, this is 1326. Times have moved on, I suppose. Times were very different back then. And there you have the actual builders of this palace. A photograph taken in 1342. Wow. So that was St David's Bishop's Castle, Palace. Quite impressive compared to the others I've seen. This is supposedly the grandest that they did build in Wales. Very nice. Let's go have a look in the cathedral itself. That's all I'm going to show you of the cathedral itself, because there's a sign on the door saying although it is free to get in, we do ask you to leave a £3 donation. So that isn't really free, is it? And if you want to take photography, it's just another £2. If you think I'm paying £5 to come into a cathedral run by snobs and money-grabbing bishops and stuff, you can think again. I've fallen out 100% now with the English church, the old English church, not the new one. You haven't done anything wrong. I'm talking about your medieval church, the people who used to live here. It sickens me that they were all just... I think the only way you could describe English people back in medieval times is greedy. That was, if you had to pick one word to describe an English, a British person, it would have to be greedy. Because all we seemed to do was try to invade the world. We ruled a third of the world at one point. Even within his own country, everyone's fighting for land, fighting each other, and charging the poor people to do the work for them. I'm quite embarrassed to be... Well, I would have been quite embarrassed to be English back then. But luckily, this is 2017 and everything's alright now. We're all fantastic in Wales and England and Scotland and Ireland. I'm back in Broadhaven right now, which is where I'm staying. And it's a beautiful day. It's a really beautiful day. But I just wanted to say, I did mention in my last video that I hoped people would make some videos, you know, like encouraging people to donate and things. Because when I put it out in a previous video, I think I only had one person who, Cameron from America, who sent me a video. Since then, since I mentioned it yesterday, I think I've had about 8 or 9 people who have done it. And I'm a tough guy. I am a tough guy, but I did literally cry watching these videos, knowing the support I've got from all around the world. These were coming from everywhere, from South Africa, Australia, America, Canada, England, everywhere, Sweden. And I just want to let you know that I really, really do appreciate it, and it really touched me, did that. And I will be using all your videos in future videos. Obviously I can only use one a day, so look out for your videos. There might be the odd one which isn't suitable simply because you filmed it sideways, or the sound isn't very good, but I will use as many as I can, and I appreciate that, I really do. I can't believe I just cried watching videos of you guys. I think it's because it made me realise I'm not alone, and there are people from all over the world supporting me on this, and it really touched me, so thank you very much. People who have donated in the last 24 hours, we've got Anonymous £10, Paul Taylor, £10. Tony, £20. Lewis Thompson, £19.59. Thank you, Lewis. Anonymous, Joe Brown, £50, 37 pence. He sent it to my PayPal and asked me to put it into the Rays of Sunshine because he was struggling to donate directly. So that's done, Joe. Not that that's your real name, but that's between me and you. Deschrijver Danny, again, £41. Normand Nadeau, $50. And Francesco Leone, £50. Thank you guys so much. We are now up to, and we've hit £32,000 and £80. Well done, guys.
Thanks for all the donations, guys, but you gotta keep them coming. It's for the kids, so just do it. It's for a good cause. All you have to do is just go on the link below in the description and donate. Or you could go to diggingthecoast.com and donate there by clicking on donate. Let's get these kids a wish. I mean, I have 2 kids. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want to give these kids a wish. Do it. Thanks.
So thanks for joining. Can't remember where I'm going tomorrow, but please come with me on Digging the Coast 365.